Hello pianists! Today we'll be harmonizing or adding chords to the beloved Christmas carol, Silent Night. A little history on it. It was composed in 1818 by Franz Gruber, who was an Austrian school teacher and organist. His friend, Josef Mohr, was an Austrian Catholic priest. He penned the words originally as part of a poem. The story goes that Mohr needed to have a Christmas Eve Mass and needed a melody to go along with his poem. So he asked his friend Franz Gruber to compose this beautiful melody to go along with his words. Story goes that was composed within 2 hours, and the rest is history. We still love performing this melody. So as the pianist, you're going to learn today how to add our 1, our 4, our 5/7 chords along with this melody. You can certainly harmonize with more melodies or more chords, but we're going to start with those chords today. You'll also learn how to use Roman numerals. That way you can transpose this to any key that you'd like to sing within or accompany someone else. An upcoming video will also show you how to take these chords and play them as beautiful accompaniment patterns. That way you could sing along with this melody. Alright, so let's jump in. As we look at our melody, you need to first analyze what key is this excerpt within. I see 2 sharps, so we look at the sharp to the far right, the last sharp I see. Remember that last sharp serves as the leading tone or the 7th as any key. You go up 1 half step. We're in the key of D major. To get you thinking into your key warm up, we're going to play our D major 2-octave scale. You can choose hands separate. I'm going to play it hands together. You can check out another video for the fingerings and how to construct these major scales. Building blocks for those accompaniment patterns we'll learn later. Also want to warm up in that chord progression of the primary chords 1, D major. I'm going to play those close inversions, 4/6/4, G over D, back to 1, 5/6/5, first inversion of our 5/7, A7 over C sharp, back home to D. Now that you're thinking within your key, we're going to address how to add 1, 4, and 5 to this beautiful melody. Musicians are very visual learners, so we like to see what note options we have within our chords. So you can see on the screen there, I have the 1 chord is D, F sharp, A. The 4 chord is G, B, D. The 5/7 is A, C sharp, E, G. Back to the 1 chord. We're going to use these notes, we're going to match those harmony tones with the melody tones. There should at least be one melody tone that complements that harmony. There shouldn't be a harmony that has no matching chord tones within the melody. So let's go through and we're going to decide what notes would belong with what harmonies or just one harmony. We look at measure 1, I see an A. B is a little passing tone up to A. The melody with an A in it could be the 5/7 or the 1. So use a pencil and you can jot in what your 2 options are. We'll also go through how to decide which chord to use. Measure 2, I see an F sharp. The only melody or the only chord that has an F sharp is the 1 chord. Next measure is a repetition of 1, so you could choose 1 or 5, F sharp back to the 1. Measure 5, I see an E in the melody. The only chord that has an E in it is the 5. I'm just going to start with the triad, a little less intense version of the 5. When I repeat that 5, we can intensify it with a 5/7. Measure 7, a D, that could belong to the 4 or the 1, so we'll wait on that to decide later. A could belong to the 5 chord or the 1. Looking on at measure 9, notice measure 9 through 12 and then 13 through 16 are repetitive melodies, so we'll just talk through this once. Measure 9, the B only goes with the 4 chord, so we'll write that in as a 4 chord. Measure 10, we have D's and B's, that could be a 1 or a 4. Measure 11, I have A's. A's belong to the 5 or the 1. Back home to the F sharp with the 1 chord. Measure 13 is a repetition. Going on measure 17, I see an E. E only belongs to the 5 chord, so I'll write that in as a 5. With that G, it goes up high. This is the climax of the piece. 5/7. Measure 19, a D could belong to the 1 or the 4. We'll talk about which chord to choose next. F sharp only belongs to the 1. Definitely a 1 there. Measure 21 outlines a first inversion 1 chord, so a 1 as well. 22, A, G's, and E's all belong to the 5/7. Creates a beautiful cadence. Measure 23, the D belongs to the 4 or the 1. We'll talk which one to use. upcoming. So that's how I process through that. I look at my melody notes and I compare them to the chord. I write out what my options are. All right, now that we have our options for Roman numerals, we're going to go through and make some decisions. So previously, when we've harmonized the Nutcracker Trepak by Tchaikovsky, we went through classical harmonization rules. We said that those composers from that time period had a set of rules. When one went to 4, 4 liked to go to 5, 5 almost always went back home to a 1. We have these 3 chords as our options. We're going to harmonize Silent Night in more of a contemporary manner. We've been influenced by jazz and the 12-bar blues, which uses the 5 to 4. That 5 to 4 to give it kind of a contemporary flavor, just add some harmonic beauty, makes it sound different than those classical pieces. So let's go through measure by measure, and I'll talk through why I've made these decisions. And you can certainly decide a little different, but this is just what I've come up with. Maybe tomorrow I'll play it a little bit different. So looking at measure 1, we said a 1 or a 5. Most music starts with tonics. I'm going to start with a 1 chord there. Measure 2 is just the 1 chord. Measure 3, 1 or 5, you could just certainly stand a 1 all the way through. I like some harmonic variety, so I'm going to go to my 5 chord in A, back home to the 1. Measure 5, go to the 5 chord, which is A major. Whenever you repeat a harmony, if there's something you can do to intensify it, like add that 7th, we're going to do so. All right, measure 7, this is where we're going to make it more of a contemporary harmonization. We could certainly go to the 1. That sounds perfectly fine. Let's try another option. Here's measure 5 with the A chord. 5, 7. Use that 4 chord. It delays that tonic resolution, makes it more beautiful at measure 8 when you go to the 1 chord. Measure 9 is the 4 chord. I'm going to stay with the 4 chord as the D and B both match that 4 chord. I'm going to go to the 1 at measure 11 for a calmer tonic resolution. Measure 13 and 14, same decisions as above. To make it a little bit more intense and vary from measure 11, I'm going to go to the 5 chord, back home to the 1. Measure 17, start with just the 5 triad. Intensify it, add the 7th. Going to delay that tonic resolution, use that beautiful 4 chord, that 5 to 4 jazz influence. Back to the 1, 1. 5 to 4. So you can certainly choose those other chords, but that's what I came up with that I like today. Okay, next step. Once you've decided on your Roman numeral options, we'll need to write in some lead sheets. That way it's easier to even think within the key of D. If you don't want to sing or play this within D, you can use those Roman numerals. You can convert those to a Nashville numbering system. It's just simple 1, 4, and 5 English numbers and transpose it to any key you'd like to go to. There's other videos I've shot where you can look at how to transpose using Roman numerals and solfege. So once we have our Roman numerals, let's write in our lead sheets. We're going to convert those 1 to all become D chords. 5 would be the A chords. So on. Go through there and write in your lead sheets. If you'd like to play this as a 2-hand accompaniment, you'll choose different inversions coming up, but maybe you just want to play the melody and some chords in inversions. So this is where we'll use those close inversions of 1, 4, 6, 4, 5, 6, 5, and 1. That way my right hand melody can stay here and I don't have to watch my hands because I'm only moving by a step each time. So my final playthrough will let you see the Roman numerals with inversions, lead sheets with inversions, and I'm going to go through a couple different patterns in my left hand. First going to start just as block chords as dotted half notes. Here it is, 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, A over C sharp. Next I'm going to roll that chord. Next I'm going to arpeggiate as quarter notes. Voice the right hand out louder. So in summary, determine your key signature first. Determine what melody notes would match with your harmony tones. Write out your options. Go back through and make your decisions. You can choose to use more of a classical structure or more of a contemporary harmonization like I chose to do within this one. Practice those left-hand chords as blocked. Try out those inversions. Play your melody along with it. You might have noticed I was using pedal. I am changing the pedal in every downbeat. You can take it slow and have fun practicing this. If you don't like that key, transpose it to other keys as well. Thank you.